Hey guys, how you doing? I don't know what happened. The building was cut off abruptly, so I'm going to restart this again. Now, because you've already seen the crux of his rant, I will stop it between them because while in his mind he's talking about the same exact group, but in fact, in reality, they're two separate groups. Okay, so what I was saying before about someone who's unstable, and all it takes is one unstable person, I think this person qualifies because he's under the delusion that these two groups are the same group, but they're not. So I will point that out as we proceed.
ASU police say that they're looking into this disturbing video posted by a student group last night. A man screaming at the ASU Students for Trump organization.
It's left a lot of people wondering how safe they are and whether this person could have posed a threat. Team 12's William Pitts talked to the student who shot that video about the scary encounter.
ASU police say they are investigating a video making the rounds on social media showing a man yelling at a group of Trump supporters about slashing Republicans' throats.
Student groups set up here all the time. Voter registration, say no to animal testing, and political groups like Students for Trump.
We were just tabling like every other Wednesday, and this man that you see in a video, he comes up to us out of nowhere, no words spoken, nothing exchanged with him.
Slash his throat! Slash whose throat? Whose throat? Slash his throat. Okay, now you're threatening someone's life. Sir, can you imagine you would be destroying an entire universe? Because what would you be destroying? You'd be destroying his universe, plus you would be disturbing all the universes that are in his universe. Whoever it is, we don't know who it is. Okay? It could be anybody. Anybody. Slash his throat. Whose throat? This is attempted murder. This is attempted murder. This is a scream to commit murder. Because this person whose throat you want to slash, I'm sure has a wife, children, friends, associates. Would you want his widow to go on without him? The man she loves, the man she calls her best friend. Do you want his children to be without a father and spend the rest of their days without him? I'm speaking from a son's perspective whose father passed away from cancer. I lost my father. I will never hear his voice again. I will never see his face again. I will never feel his warmth again. He is gone. What do you think his children would feel if you went ahead with your threat? This is domestic violence. This is what I'm talking about. Domestic violence comes in many stages, but they're all progressive. We've already talked about intimidation. We've already talked about, you won't know what hit you. Intimidation, shame. There was something that I forgot to include after the shame. So after this, I'll go back. I'll replay the shame part. I'll go back because I jumped ahead, which was my mistake. I jumped ahead a stage. So I'll go back and go in order again. But I just want to point out, so you want to commit murder.
Osama Alani was manning the table. He's the president of the group. He says no one in the group knows who this is, but he was angry, and not just yelling, screaming.
Say that one more time.
Slash Republican throats. Okay, we're talking about millions and millions and millions of people. So you want to commit mass murder. Are we seeing the beginnings of another mass shooting in our country? He's talking about slashing, but since he can't slash them all without being caught, he could very easily get a gun and fulfill his intentions. That's his mindset, to commit mass murder and destroy many, many universes of Republicans, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, parents, children, grandchildren. You're talking about mass murder. Who has done nothing harmful to anyone else. Okay, that's a different group. Fascists. Okay, who are the fascists? Really? I don't know who the fascists are. I don't think there's any in this country. I mean, a fascist in this country? I have never heard of anyone. Now, there's some socialists, and that's on the Democrat side. And yes, there are neo-Nazis. Maybe they're the fascists you're talking about. Because those are fascists. The neo-Nazis, the skinheads, the KKK, white supremacists, the white nationalists, those are in that fascist side. That's in that fascist group. So we're talking about two totally different groups here, Republicans and fascists. We're talking about two different groups. But in his mind, in his distorted, delusional mind, fascists and Republicans are the same thing, but they're not. So we're talking about, so remember how there were all these mass shootings, and then everybody's up in a rampage and everything else about the red flag? I think this is a red flag. You want to pass red flag laws? I think this is a red flag right here. He could do serious harm to other people. But again, this is a threat. This is a threat on record. So the FBI should be notified that we have a potential mass shooter here. This could evolve into a mass shooting, like we saw in Vegas. And all it takes is one sick, unstable man like this person. So I hope the FBI is watching this man closely, making sure he doesn't buy any assault weapons, because this man is a ticking time bomb. This man could commit mass murder in his state of mind. But from the domestic violence point of view, this fits the formula. threatening violence, physical violence to your victim in a domestic violence atmosphere. Okay, let's finish this video. Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
ASU police say that they're looking into this disturbing video posted by a student group last night. A man screaming at the ASU Students for Trump organization.
It's left a lot of people wondering how safe they are and whether this person could have posed a threat. Team 12's William Pitts talked to the student who shot that video about the scary encounter.
ASU police say they are investigating a video making the rounds on social media showing a man yelling at a group of Trump supporters about slashing Republicans' throats.
Student groups set up here all the time. Voter registration, say no to animal testing, and political groups like Students for Trump.
We were just tabling like every other Wednesday, and this man that you see in a video, he comes up to us out of nowhere, no words spoken, nothing exchanged with him.
Osama Alani was manning the table. He's the president of the group. He says no one in the group knows who this is, but he was angry, and not just yelling, screaming.
Say that one more time. It is a scary incident. We were somewhat protective of like something may happen.
Alani says ASU police showed up just after the man left. He's not sure who called them, but they said they'd look for the guy. Meanwhile, the video was picked up by pro-Trump social media accounts, getting millions of views. Enough that ASU put out a tweet Wednesday night saying they were looking into it.
And we have a lot of questions for ASU PD about this video, like, is this a credible threat? Is it an ongoing threat? And are they currently looking for this man?
But ASU police did not respond to any questions. The spokesperson told us the tweet was all the information she had. A spokesman for the university sent a statement saying they don't know if this person is a student or not, and they do not think there's a threat to the campus from what they call a political altercation. Alani says the student group can't do anything differently, but they do ask for more police presence when they're set up outside.
I don't want him to go to jail even. I just want him to be helped because he didn't look like he was a sane person.
William Pitts, 12 News.
Okay, now, let's do this in the order that I originally intended. Okay, I covered that incident. Okay, so we're a little out of sequence here. Okay, so I'll replay this.
What's happening in America? Civility out, shaming and shunning in. On the same weekend, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders is asked to leave a restaurant. Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters says don't let the public shaming stop with Sanders.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
The Congresswoman pushing more division in a nation already seemingly divided. Protesters yelling shame at DHS Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen at a Mexican restaurant.
Okay, now, think about domestic violence here. About pushing back, like Maxine Waters suggested. So Maxine Waters was basically endorsing domestic violence because these is all aspects of domestic violence. Push back, get in their face, get a crowd, push back. These are all the things that a domestic batterer does to his victim. Now, so you say, okay, this is a good thing to push back. It's a good thing to be violent. Okay? This is basically what she's saying. She's promoting this. Say, you get in their face, you push back, and you get in their face. And there were many who supported what Maxine Waters suggested, and they took it upon themselves to follow those words.
We believe survivors. We believe survivors. We believe survivors. We believe survivors. Beto is way harder than.
Get in their face. Get in their way.
We believe survivors.
Let my wife through.
We believe survivors. 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 Texas preachers can't be gay. We believe survivors. We believe survivors.
Okay, now, what is a domestic batterer? A domestic husband, right? He is a crowd of one. This is a crowd of many. But the action is still the same, whether you're a crowd of many or a crowd of one. Many domestic violence abusers get in his victim's face, stand in her way, or his way, depending upon who is the domestic batterer, who is committing the domestic violence, whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter. But the action is still the same. The intention is still the same. Shout in her face. Shame your victim. Get in your victim's face. Invade your victim's personal space. And I've seen many cases where the man, the domestic abuser, stands in his victim's way of leaving. Just like Cruz wanted to leave with his wife, and they got in his way. They got in their way. Just like a domestic batterer stands in the way of his victim. So, we now have seen everything verbal, confrontational, but nothing actually physical yet. But that is yet to come, because domestic violence comes in stages, and it's time for the next stage.
Fucking own, bitch!
Okay, now watch this again. This is the next stage of domestic violence. Attacking with non-lethal projectiles and items. Okay, these are non-lethal assaults, but they are assaults nonetheless. Now we're talking physical attacks with non-lethal force. Okay, like I said, this is all in stages. Now notice he doesn't fight back. He is a victim. Not only is he not fighting back, he is walking away from them. That's what you do when you're under attack. You walk away from them. You remove yourself from the potential altercation, which is in fact an altercation. He's a victim. He's walking away, but they're not satisfied with that. They run after him. They go after him as he's walking away, getting away from it, and continue to attack him even while he's walking away. So they chase him. These are bullies, but this is also part of domestic violence. Now watch this again. Watch how he walks away. They're still attacking him as he's walking away. This is all non-lethal, but this is assault. Okay, that's assault. And that also plays in the domestic violence handbook. Assault with non-lethal attacks. Now, can you guess what comes next? I will continue in the final installment of this, what is the progressive domestic violence modus operandi, MO. This follows considerably, because this is all it starts with. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get this in. Okay, I will stop here, but I will replay that at the beginning of the next video, because you know, this is so important to understand. This is textbook domestic violence. Everything that I've shown you already, of so many domestic violence cases, all you've seen in the text of political violence is textbook domestic violence progression. And being a victim of domestic violence, I take this matter very strongly. So, anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll pick this up next time with part 4. Take care and treat each other better. We're Americans. We've seen Americans treat Americans so badly. It has to stop. This has to stop. Americans treating their fellow Americans this badly, it has to stop. We're all in this together. We are all one family. We should love each other, not inflict violence on each other. That's not what it means to be American. It's outrageous, and it should not be tolerated that Americans would treat other Americans this badly. Anyway, okay, that's it for now. I'll pick it up next time. Take care, and like I said, please treat each other better. We're much better than this. We have the potential. All it takes is to put love in our hearts and not hatred. Okay, take care. I'll see you soon.